What if the most fascinating world in our entire solar system isn't Jupiter, isn't Saturn, isn't even Mars? What if it's the one we decided didn't count anymore? In 2006, scientists held a vote and stripped Pluto of its planetary status. Overnight, the world that had occupied the 9th position in our solar system for 76 years was reclassified as a dwarf planet, a piece of frozen debris drifting at the edge of everything we know. Most people accepted that and moved on. But in 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft completed a 9-year journey of nearly 5 billion kilometers and pointed its cameras at Pluto for the first time in history. What it found was not a dead frozen rock. It found floating mountains made of water ice drifting across a toxic sea. It found red snow falling from a black sky. It found a beating heart of churning frozen poison large enough to swallow a small country. And it found evidence of something hiding beneath the surface that changes every assumption we made about where life in this solar system might exist. This video will take you through all of it. The science, the discoveries, the mysteries that remain open, and the question that nobody can yet answer. Pluto was never just a rock. It was never dead. And we were wrong to look away. If you want to know what's really out there in this universe, the things that don't make headlines, the discoveries that should, then like this video and subscribe to Vortex. We follow the science into the dark. Every single time. Now, let's go to the edge of the solar system. Getting to Pluto takes a long time. New Horizons launched in January 2006, the same year Pluto lost its planetary status, which is either a remarkable coincidence or a particularly cruel one depending on how you look at it. It traveled at roughly 50,000 miles per hour for 9 years. And as it pushed further from the sun, the sunlight around it faded from brilliant to dim to something barely worth calling light at all. By the time it reached Pluto's orbit, the sun had shrunk to a bright point, hundreds of times dimmer than a cloudy afternoon on Earth. Standing on Pluto at noon, you would not see a blue sky. You would see permanent black. A freezing twilight that never ends. When New Horizons finally sent back its first clear images in the summer of 2015, scientists were not prepared for what they saw. Stretching across Pluto's equator was a giant pale shape, roughly 1,000 kilometers wide, perfectly formed, unmistakably recognizable. A heart. The media loved it immediately. Cartoons spread. Headlines called it cosmic poetry. Planetary scientists had a different reaction entirely. That heart, officially named Sputnik Planitia, is a colossal impact basin filled with a glacier composed entirely of solid nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. Not water ice. Frozen poison. And unlike every other glacier ever observed in the solar system, this one is alive. Deep inside Pluto's core, a small amount of residual radioactive heat still exists. That faint warmth rises slowly upward, causing the frozen nitrogen to convect, to slowly churn and cycle from the bottom upward like an extraordinarily cold and slow-moving pot of thick liquid. The consequences of this are remarkable. Any asteroid that strikes the surface of Sputnik Planitia does not leave a crater. The churning nitrogen simply swallows it, pulls it down into the depths and erases it completely. The surface of the heart is pristine. Perfectly smooth. A white toxic sea that consumes everything that touches it and shows no evidence that anything ever did. The heart of Pluto is not a symbol. It is the most quietly violent thing in the outer solar system. Stand at the edge of Sputnik Planitia and look toward the horizon. What you see there should not be possible by any intuitive understanding of how planets work. Mountains. Enormous jagged peaks rising over 3 kilometers into the permanent black sky. Razor-edged, dramatic, towering. But these are not rock mountains. On Pluto, the surface temperature drops to approximately -230 degrees Celsius. At that extreme, ordinary water ice does not behave like ice. It becomes rigid with the structural strength of solid steel. The mountains of Pluto are built entirely from water ice, harder than most rock on Earth, sharp enough to cut. But here is the detail that makes them genuinely extraordinary. Water ice is less dense than nitrogen ice. The heavy frozen nitrogen of Sputnik Planitia is denser than the water ice mountains sitting at its edges. So the mountains do not simply rest at the shoreline. They break off. They drift. Enormous mountain ranges, structures comparable in scale to the Alps, slowly float out across the toxic nitrogen sea like colossal slow-moving icebergs, moving imperceptibly but continuously across the white surface. A mountain range the size of the Alps. Adrift. Moving toward you across a sea of frozen poison. Now look up at those same mountains. The snow on their peaks is not white. It is dark red. When the faint ultraviolet light from the distant sun reaches Pluto's surface, it triggers a photochemical reaction in the frozen methane. This reaction produces complex organic molecules called tholins, dark reddish-brown compounds that form in the upper atmosphere and then fall slowly downward like a perpetual fine rain. They coat everything. The mountain peaks. The plains. The crater walls. A slow eternal shower of dark organic chemistry falling through a black sky and staining a frozen world the color of dried blood. Floating mountains of ice. Peaked with red snow. Drifting across a churning sea of frozen nitrogen. In permanent darkness. Pluto is not a dead rock. Pluto is one of the strangest and most beautiful environments in the solar system. For decades, the scientific assumption about Pluto was straightforward. Small world. Cold world. Frozen all the way through. A solid ball of ice and rock with nothing particularly dynamic happening inside it. New Horizons quietly destroyed that assumption. The problem began with physics. Sputnik Planitia, the nitrogen glacier heart, is a massive concentration of dense material sitting in one location on a relatively small world. That kind of mass imbalance should have caused Pluto to roll over millions of years ago. The weight of the glacier should have shifted until it aligned with Pluto's rotational axis. The fact that it sits where it does and hasn't moved suggests something is counterbalancing it from below. Something heavy. Something hidden. The leading scientific explanation is a subsurface ocean of liquid water. Kept from freezing by the pressure of the ice above it and a trace of residual heat from the radioactive core below, this ocean, if it exists, sits in complete and permanent darkness beneath kilometers of frozen crust. Cold. Pressurized. Black. Isolated from the rest of the universe by layers of ice that have been there for billions of years. And then comes the question that changes everything. Wherever liquid water exists in this solar system, whether it's beneath Europa's ice shell, within the geysers of Enceladus, or potentially beneath the crust of Pluto, the same question follows immediately. Could something be alive in it? We do not know. We have no probe beneath Pluto's surface. We have no way of sampling what may or may not be swimming in that dark. But the question itself is no longer absurd. Life on Earth exists in environments that would have seemed equally impossible before we found it there: deep ocean hydrothermal vents, Antarctic ice sheets, acidic hot springs. The deepest, coldest edge of the solar system may not be as lifeless as we assumed. We simply do not know yet. Pluto does not exist alone. Orbiting in permanent gravitational partnership with Pluto is its largest moon, Charon, and this relationship is unlike any other planet-moon system in the solar system. Charon is so large relative to Pluto that the two bodies do not orbit each other in the conventional sense. Instead, they both orbit a shared gravitational point that sits in empty space between them, a binary system, spinning together in the void. Both worlds are tidally locked to each other. This means if you stand on the side of Pluto that faces Charon, the moon hangs enormous and completely motionless in the black sky above you, never rising, never setting, simply there. If you walk to the other side of Pluto, you will never see Charon at all. Two faces of the same world, one permanently watched, one permanently alone. Charon carries its own remarkable feature. Its north pole is stained a deep reddish-brown by what scientists call maunder macula, a large dark region formed by gas that escaped from Pluto's own atmosphere, drifted across the space between them and froze onto Charon's surface. Two separate worlds sharing the same escaping atmosphere, bleeding into each other across the dark. Orbiting chaotically around both of them are four smaller moons, Nix, Hydra, Kerberos and Styx, tumbling unpredictably through the darkness, their rotation irregular and unsettled. Likely the scattered remnants of an ancient collision that formed the entire system billions of years ago. And before New Horizons left Pluto behind forever, it turned its camera back one final time and captured something nobody expected. Pluto silhouetted against the sun. And in the image surrounding that dark silhouette, a thin, delicate, luminous ring of blue. Pluto has a blue sky. A world reclassified as unimportant. Stripped of its title. Forgotten for decades. Still beautiful. Still complex. Still full of questions we haven't answered. The exiled king of the solar system doesn't need our validation. It was never waiting for it. Pluto was written off in a committee vote. And then it showed us floating mountains, a beating frozen heart, red snow, a hidden ocean and a blue sky. Imagine what else we've underestimated out there. If Vortex gives you that feeling, the feeling that the universe is bigger and stranger and more worth paying attention to than anything else competing for your time, then support this channel. Like this video. Share it with someone who thinks space is boring. Subscribe to Vortex so you're here for everything we uncover next. The solar system is not running out of surprises. And neither are we.